addictions led to bad decisions. Michael, I mean, I tried to help him. He was in rehabs in Cincinnati, rehabs here. You know, very smart boy. You could find him in there somewhere when you were talking to Michael. Like when I was talking to Michael, I could see Michael in there, but it wasn't Michael out here, if that makes sense at all. And I would try to explain to him, son, you've got so much potential. You speak fluent Spanish, there's jobs, there's all kinds of things you can do, son. Towards the end of Mike's life, he was just told me he was in the dark. He kept overdosing. Like, I didn't know. Some lady called me and they found him in the street, just jumping things. But I had to go to the hospital and they did some kind of drugs and they didn't even know they was in the street. They just got hit by an RTA bus, him and his girlfriend. So I went to the hospital and talked to him about it, and I was mad at him. I was like, what are you doing? Oh my God, you know. It's like, oh Mom, it's not a big deal. I said, yeah, it is. This is getting bad. And he'd always want to cover everything up, that it wasn't a big deal, that he was going to get better and everything was going to be okay. But it just got so worse that at his end, he told me he was in the dark. He couldn't see no light at all. And I said, well, let's pray about it. He said, Mom, prayer's not going to help me. He said, you don't understand. He said, I can't even make it through a day unless I have drugs. I can't even get up. I'm sick. So he was sick for 3 days before he passed, and I was over there at my son's house talking to Michael, and he's like, Mom, please just let me sleep. If I sleep, I don't have to think about drugs. So I'd stay there with him while he sleep, and he'd wake up, and I'd be right there, and he'd be like, Mom, what are you doing? I was like, I'm just watching you, Mike. I was like, I'm worried, you know. He said, I'll be okay, Mom, I'll be okay. And I was like, no, you won't. So then I guess it was like 2 days after that, he had committed suicide in an abandoned house on the west side. He was there for two or 3 days. It was 90-degree weather, and they found him in there. I can't remember. I think it was the guy next door found him in there, and they called me a detective and told me he was there, and I tried to make up excuses like, it can't be him, and does he got the tattoos on Jesus and Michael Malaya? And he said, yeah. And it's like, I want to come there. They wouldn't let me come there. They found some dope on a makeshift table, and he just snorted a bunch of stuff on his autopsy report and everything. There was all kinds of stuff in his body. So I believe, I know he took his life, because when he was around us, he wouldn't do nothing, but as soon as he would leave, he'd come back messed up. And then, you know, I wasn't praying upon him, not like, I prayed for him, but I wasn't praying upon him like bringing the drugs up. I was just trying to help him like the best I knew as a mom. Like, I know more now than I did then, and I wish I could bring him back to redo all this. But at the time, I was struggling trying to figure out how I could save my own son, no matter if I ran after him or took him to eat. I was afraid to give him money because I was afraid, what if he took dope with that money and he died? Or, you know, I was beside myself. Like, I felt like I was falling apart at the seams trying to figure all this out, and then I lost him.